Hey there, hope you're doing good. Let's say a project is running behind schedule for months or quarters. Multiple timelines have been given and not met. You are frustrated. Everyone is unhappy. How should you handle the situation? The first thing you need to do is you need to take a step back from the heat of the moment and understand the factors that control project management. Because as long as you don't understand these factors, you will keep banging your head against the wall. So you need to understand these factors, and these are levers, right? You can pull these levers to affect outcomes, just as you would if you're operating a crane. Now, if you don't know what levers are in the crane and you randomly keep pulling and pushing them and pressing buttons and turning dials, the crane will go haywire, right? You won't achieve anything. So let's try to understand these factors. The time a project takes increases based on three factors: scope, quality, and manpower. If you increase any of these three, if you increase the scope, if you increase the quality required, such as saying we'll launch a final product, not an MVP, not a prototype, or you decrease the manpower, then the time will increase. So based on these three factors, the time will increase or decrease. Now, one common mistake non-technical stakeholders make, and this is not intended as a criticism, because tech is a different area of work for them, but one common mistake they make is they just ask, can we do it fast? Some CEOs I know send out emails every 3 days saying, can we speed it up? Or they say, look, we have this need and so. They try to explain the business situation. But explaining helps motivate people only if they are not aligned towards it. If they are not convinced that launching quickly is good. But if they are convinced and if they have the right attitude and motivation, but it's just a question of time, then telling them why it's important will not help. And the CEO who would send out emails every 3 days, after a while, people in the team kept ignoring him. Oh yeah, this guy is like that, he'll just keep doing that. Right? So don't do that. Time is the result. You can't control the time directly. You can control these three factors: scope, quality, and manpower, to control time indirectly. So let's explore each of these factors. Let's start with scope. Suppose the team has agreed to deliver 3 outcomes, A, B, and C, and they haven't started working on C yet. Ask them if it will help to remove C from the scope. Some people don't like the suggestion. They think I fought hard to get fight may be the wrong metaphor, but whatever. I worked hard to get the Inch team to commit to A, B, and C. Now can I give it up? That's the wrong way of looking at it, right? It's not a zero-sum contract negotiation. Like you're buying a washing machine or a whatever, right? Like an AC. And you ask for a discount, he says no. Then you ask, can you give me a free stabilizer instead? And he grudgingly agrees. And once you extracted that concession from him, you don't want to give it up. That's not how you should be dealing with your engineering team, irrespective of whether they're in-house or outsourced. That is a zero-sum mentality. The key point here is a launch is not a one-time thing. So many people think, I asked the engineering team to agree to deliver A, B, and C. Now I'm going to ask them, this is agreed upon scope. When will it be done? They think the scope is fixed. But instead, you should think in an agile and incremental manner. Yes, you are going to get A, B, and C eventually. But do you want some of them first? So in the first place, you should prioritize and tell the engineering team the business value of each of these three factors. Tell them for the business, B is most important, then A, then C. So B, A, C is the priority order. Based on this, you decide how best to deliver. And give them that trust. Because a competent engineering leader, when given this context, will make the right decisions. Right? Don't try to second guess and control everything and agree on estimates and get a sign off and all of these things, right? In a contractual sense, it's not a contract negotiation. It's a give and take. In negotiation, you never give, you only take, or you try to minimize how much you give while maximizing how much you take. Right? That's what negotiation is. That's not how you should be doing it here. So think in an agile and incremental manner. So let's say the engineering team among A, B, and C hasn't started working on C yet. Ask them, will it help if we remove C from the scope? Will you be able to deliver A and B faster than you can deliver A, B, and C? The other thing is, don't put people on the spot and demand answers right away. You'll get bad answers and justifications and disputes later on. Ask them to think about it and tell them it's up to you, right? I am trusting you. I just want something delivered quickly, right? And later on, we will add the things that are missing. So you're not giving up, right? Again, if you look at it as a one-shot thing, if you are selecting a crew to go to Mars and you are not selected, you have lost the opportunity. That's it. But projects are not like that. There is one more release coming soon, and then one more, and then one more, right? So you will get it. So if you look at it as a one-shot thing, you'll think about it as giving up. No, I kind of worked hard to get to this commitment, now I'm giving up. So that is one point about scope. Let's discuss quality. If you can make do with an MVP, make do with an MVP. If the purpose of the deliverable is to validate with users whether it is useful, tell the engineering team, it's okay if it has bugs. It's okay if it hangs. It's okay if it crashes. It's okay if it becomes slow if 100 users use it. It's okay if it is not built in a scalable and sustainable manner. If the code is bad and we have to throw it away and restart, that's okay. Because the goal is not to build a product, right? The goal is to validate something ASAP. So tell them we want to build a hut, not a house. So unless you actually need that level of quality, lower the quality bar. Again, don't think of it as, oh, I should try to grab everything I can get, because you will pay a price. It's no different from going to the supermarket and putting everything you see in your cart. Yes, it's tempting, but the more you put, the more it will cost. So that is about scope and quality. If the UX doesn't need to be good, say the UX doesn't need to be good. Let's see if people even want this feature, then we can improve the UX. Try to reduce the quality bar as much as possible. So now that we are done with scope and quality, let's discuss manpower. Sometimes we add people to a team when they are late and we expect immediate results. That's not going to happen. As Brooks' law says, adding manpower to a project that's late makes it later. Because when you add someone, they will deliver value after a quarter or two. Until then, they'll ramp up. And they'll take the time of the existing team members to ramp up. So you can't keep moving people back and forth. Human beings are not like cloud servers. You can't turn them on and off in minutes. Staffing is a long-term solution. Just as when the central bank raises interest rates or lowers them, it takes some time to impact the economy. It's not an overnight thing. Similarly, manpower is a long-term planning game. So if your team is understaffed and they say that, hey, corresponding to what you are asking, the team is understaffed, then sure, you can and should increase staffing. But that's a long-term game. And once you add people, don't remove them, because they have ramped up and now they are being ramped down. And if you keep doing this, all your time is being wasted here. So these factors are in kind of, so there's a trade-off between these factors. Every time you talk to your engineering team, you should be clear in the back of your mind which of these 4 factors you are willing to compromise on. If nothing, you are going to compromise on all of them. You just won't know it until it's too late. You are making an unconscious decision rather than a conscious decision. So you can compromise on time. You can say, we need this scope, we need this quality, and we have only 4 people. How long will it take? And then the answer may be longer than you like, and you need to accept that. Conversely, you can say, we need to launch in a month. What can you launch? And trade off the other factors. One thing you should not do is when you have these conversations with the team to try to figure out what's going wrong, you should be careful that it doesn't come across as blame. For example, you said it will be done by Jan 1st. Why is it not done? Is blame. And even if you don't use that tone, even if you're just trying to understand why you are not out to blame anybody, first of all, you shouldn't be out to blame anyone. You should, go with the concept of blameless postmortems. It's a theory that says things will go wrong in business invariably. When that happens, sit together without blame. Try to understand how we are going to improve as a team. So use that phrase in your conversation. Say we are doing a blameless postmortem. And live it, not just say it, right? If they point out some improvements and they fall in your camp, you should be open to making changes. Like, you should at least think about it with an open mind. After thinking about it, if you decide that's not the right approach, that's totally fine. But at least you should think about it with an open mind. And sometimes the engineering team may say things that challenge your idea of how work should be done. For example, they may say estimates are guesses. And most estimates are made without knowledge of these factors. We don't exactly know the scope or the quality or the manpower. Of course, it's going to be a guess. And calling it a guess at least puts us all on the same page. We are not in denial anymore and play a blame game afterwards. Because a blame game will cause people to reciprocate. They'll develop similar feelings towards you. They'll say, see, the business guy screwed up in this and this area and now they're blaming us. And the next time you ask for something, they'll be less receptive. It will erode the team spirit, the feeling that we are all on the same side. And especially given your power as a founder or CEO, it's very easy to be misinterpreted even when you didn't intend. So when you ask questions like, why is this project late? Clarify that you're not trying to blame anyone. You're trying to identify what we can improve as a team, as a company. So this is how you do a blameless postmortem and feed that back into your decision-making process so that the next project you plan will go smoother. If you'd like me to help you get your projects on schedule, my consulting link is in the description.